Yeah, good morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk about how all this that we've heard about so far fits into the programme for transforming construction that I'm responsible for. So this is a graph that McKinsey published about a year and a half ago. And what it shows is that the UK is a leader, certainly in terms of construction productivity in the world. And that really shows that there's a tremendous amount of momentum behind the evolution of UK construction, and we're working from a very strong base. So yes, this is productivity, but really what this represents is that our industry is in remarkably good shape compared to other countries around the world, something that we can be proud of and something that we can build upon. And I think that the reason for this, and I puzzled over this for a little while, is there actually has been good support and engagement from the UK government and a number of other organisations for quite a few years. So everyone will be familiar with the Egan report, and that itself is just a step along the way. There was Latham before that, and in the midst of time others. But the concept of the digital contribution to construction has been around for quite a long time. And Constructing Excellence has helped the country on that journey and the industry on that journey. We had the Government Construction Strategy of 2011, which sort of set the challenge of the BIM mandate that we ended up having, and then further reinforced with the Government Construction Strategy of 2016. So we're on this continuum here. We've got a lot of momentum, and that's very encouraging in terms of seeing what we've done with, I would say, relatively modest input so far, relatively modest support so far. And yet here we are today with an industry that we will all recognise has an amazing amount of room for improvement, need for improvement. If you just look at the aspects of waste that exist in our industry, and those of us who've been involved sort of at the cutting edge of construction for a lot of our careers, we kind of get too used to all this stuff. So what the whole digital twin concept enables us to do is to really make sense of this all, bring order to this relatively chaotic and complex environment, and really start to optimize and improve efficiency, as per one of Samuel's images earlier. So where are we now? We've got tremendous support, a real step change in support from government. As part of the industrial strategy, we've got the construction sector deal. That's joined up with government procurement, this presumption for off-site. In there is the presumption for full support for digital. So we've got this massive buying power of government. We've got full alignment from certainly government side, and I'm confident that we also have alignment and support from the industry side. So what this translates to is 170 million of funding that has gone into the sector recently, and so that's what I'm responsible for spending and using wisely. The industry has committed to support this with 250 million of match funding. And actually, I think that is probably a very easy target to beat. If you see what's happening out there in industry, commitment to digital transformation, there is a vast amount of investment. One estimate is that it's something like 500 million a year that is already going into development of digital techniques as private sector investment within the industry. We've got a 4-year programme. We're a year into it at the moment. And this isn't going to achieve, it's not going to be the whole world has changed, the whole industry has changed in that period. But what we want to achieve, and I'm confident we will achieve, is a step change, a resetting of the industry such that we've proven that there is a better way of doing things and a better model for how to go about construction. So in terms of how we're allocating that money, that 170 million, 72 million is going to the Construction Innovation Hub, which has a very big involvement from the Cambridge Centre for Digital Built Britain. 36 million going to the Active Building Centre, commercialising energy positive buildings, and then 59 million for research activities. I put this slide up because one of the challenges that the industry has had is that we're fragmented, and indeed there are a vast number of organisations in the UK alone operating in construction. I think about 250,000 of construction organisations. So making sense of all that is very important and getting everybody heading in the same direction. But we have very good buy-in from all the key influencers and sort of centres of power within the industry. So in the middle there is my programme. I'm closely connected into the Construction Leadership Council, which helped develop and pitch for and design this programme. The I3P, the Infrastructure Industry Innovation Platform, is the sort of innovation wing of the CLC, as I see it. We've got an advisory group that involves representation from a whole range of industry bodies and guidance for the programme. And then with regards to the specifics, we've got a board that looks after the Construction Innovation Hub or steers that, and we're establishing a board to steer the Active Building Centre. So a lot of very effective work to join up the whole industry, and the top here just reference to how it's joined up with the wider industrial strategy and the government department BASE that sponsors the whole programme. Another aspect to achieving this transformation is greater integration of the industry. So, you know, we know that we have this system at the moment where you've got different layers within the industry, and at each layer there's kind of a blockage to innovation and a blockage to pulling through digital techniques and so forth. So a lot of good work has been done on this. The ICE's Project 13 programme, the enterprise approach to projects, I would say is an important part of that picture in terms of achieving better vertical integration within the industry. And then we need to better horizontally integrate the industry. So again, very much aligned or very much relevant to the digital twin concept, collecting and sharing better information, actionable information for the industry. Then that opens up the opportunity to unleash artificial intelligence on solving the problems of the industry and, or more specifically, supporting decision-making associated with projects and programs and systems and so forth. And developing the skills for the industry. So I'm talking about skills of individuals and skills of organisations. So how does this all come together? Well, there are three themes associated with the Transforming Construction programme. So the digital theme, manufacturing theme, and the whole life performance thing. So I see digital twins sort of sits most naturally and is fully within, obviously, the digital heading. But it all joins up. You know, if we're looking at whole life performance of assets, we need to model the whole life of those assets physically and digitally. And indeed, to support the transfer of manufacturing techniques into construction, we need a digital basis and a digital maturity in order to do that. And then we're driving this through the industry by procuring differently, we're sponsoring procuring for value and tools to make more intelligent decisions around procurement. We're de-risking the innovative solutions through the various investments that I've talked about, and indeed providing the job descriptions and sort of setting the agenda for skills development for the future industry. So the Construction Innovation Hub that I mentioned, that consists of these three centres working together, the Manufacturing Technology Centre, the BRE and CDBB. And the focus areas here are product family architectures, sort of focused on, owned by the Manufacturing Technology Centre, and they're just launching a platform call for companies to come forward and work with the Construction Innovation Hub to develop product platforms for the industry. Performance and testing, that's more of a BRE specialism. And then CDBB, we're hearing a lot about through these sessions. And I think at the heart of this, in terms of what you'll really see differently in the industry, is this shift to the platform concept for buildings. So if you can read all these, got the platform content, the standard kit of parts for different types of buildings, the digital library, the configurator tool to enable you to kind of get the best set of components for the building type, the digital twin describing the whole system, how it all comes together, the platform specification, so just understanding what the requirements of the asset are, and the component set, the tested and de-risked set of components. And all parts of the Construction Innovation Hub are working together to achieve this. It'll be a portfolio of different kits of parts for different parts of the industry or different asset types. We're also sponsoring the Active Building Centre. So this is about creating a critical mass of energy positive buildings, buildings that generate more energy than they use and enable that to, therefore they can sort of share that with other buildings, they can share it with electric vehicles and so forth. So we need to create enough examples of that to make sure that we've de-risked the whole concept, that we've provided the business validation for investing in energy positive buildings. Aggregate these at a national scale, start to look at the way that we would address the existing assets of the country, so the retrofit challenge, not a primary focus for my programme, but really the programme should pave the way for a transformation in the existing assets as well. We've been funding research projects sort of throughout the whole programme. So as I say, we've got these big chunks of investment, 72 million for the CIH and 36 million for the Active Building Centre. With the 18 million that we've spent on R&D so far, or committed to R&D so far, we've got a very balanced portfolio, I would say. I'm very pleased to see that, of information-based investments. A lot of interest already in machine learning, artificial intelligence for the industry, which is, I was very encouraged to see that much activity already in terms of really high quality bids for that. So that shows a lot of momentum there. And then a good set of product and process innovations that really pulling through these manufacturing approaches to construction that I've been talking about. Just a couple of examples of that. So housing, everybody knows, is a massive challenge for the UK at the moment, and we're really sort of going in hard. The single biggest investment on the previous slide there is this thing, advanced industrial methods for the construction of homes. So really addressing the challenges around housing, industrialised housing, working together with the organisations that have got really great reach across the industry in terms of housing. And getting going on the product platform approach for schools. That's sort of the earliest example of that platform approach that I talked about earlier, with the standard frame for schools that is now being procured through the DFE. And then we're just in the process of doing a whole spate of launch activities for the final bit of funding that we're allocating. I think I'm running out of time here, so I'll run through this quickly, and there are other ways to find out about this. So 26 million on demonstrator projects, the call's open, lots of information out there to learn about that, and another 10 million on collaborative R&D projects. So that's the Transforming Construction programme. I hope you see how it all integrates and meshes with the Digital Twin initiative. And that's me. Thank you.